Happy Friday, Brian Manning here with the weekly update. Let's get right to it. So, Monday of this week, tariffs, tariffs, tariffs. All the talk was on tariffs. What was happening over the weekend? I have to tell you, I'm just unsure really of what to think of this right now. Supposedly, these tariffs are for a drug war and to prevent fentanyl from coming into the U.S. It's hard to really actually know what the facts are there. I actually have no idea. All I know is that I think there's a lot of kind of, I don't want to say misinformation about tariffs, but the reality is if we have tariffs on products that come in through China, Mexico, Canada, and I know Mexico and Canada are on hold for about 30 days, but we as consumers pay the import tax when those goods come in. So there's a lot of people out there that think that tariffs, probably would not have a positive impact on the U.S. economy because we all incur higher costs on the goods that have tariffs attached to them. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But unfortunately, tariffs could lead to, we'll call it, maybe negative economic conditions because if costs of goods are already high and then you put tariffs on there and costs of certain goods go up even more, that could have a negative impact on the U.S. economy. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. Tuesdays, we get the JOLTS report. So JOLTS report stands for job opening and labor turnovers. So this looks at how many jobs were posted in the U.S. So we had 7.6 million jobs that were posted in the U.S. This is a decline of 550,000 jobs. Actually, from a year ago, this number is down 1.3 million. So it's really hard to get a good feel on the U.S. economy as far as employment is concerned. And the JOLTS report is tough for a couple reasons. One, companies can post multiple jobs out there to try and make their company look stronger and like they're experiencing growth. Also, companies can post jobs in multiple places because of the amount of people that work remote now. So you could have one job that gets promoted or advertised in 2 or 3 or 4 places, and that gets counted in there as well. So I would say a lot of people believe the JOLTS report is not as maybe robust as it seems that it would be, just based on the numbers. So it kind of still puts us in question of how is employment looking in the actual footing of the U.S. economy. Wednesday this week we get ADP. I can't believe it's the first week of every month. So the first week of every month on Wednesday, we get ADP. They're the largest provider of payrolls, private payroll in the U.S. On the Friday, which we're going to get to in a moment, we get BLS. So ADP, we had 150,000 jobs that were anticipated. We got 183,000. So definitely a little bit better than expected. Also Wednesday, we had Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent talking, and he talked about the issuance of Treasuries. So when the U.S. government and the country incurs debt, the way they have to pay for the debt is by putting Treasuries into the marketplace. And this is probably part of the reason why we've seen mortgage rates move higher, because when you have a country that's experiencing debt, the way they pay for the debt is by putting Treasuries into the marketplace, but then mortgages are a form of Treasury as well. So now you got mortgage-backed securities going to the marketplace. So you got a lot of, we'll call it flooding of securities in the marketplace, whether it be Treasuries, mortgage-backed securities, et cetera. And when you have more supply than you have demand, then the cost of these rates has to go up. It's part of the reason why we've seen higher mortgage rates. Well, Scott Bessent came out and said in the foreseeable future, they're not going to issue long-term treasuries. They're going to focus on issuing short-term treasuries. And the market's like that. We actually saw a little bit of improvement of interest rates this week because it lets investors realize, hey, there's not going to be as much competition out there for long-term yields if the Treasury Department is issuing short-term treasuries, and then you have like mortgage-backed securities that are long-term that could balance out the marketplace there. It could be helpful for interest rates. So definitely the financial markets like what Scott Bessent, our Treasury Secretary, is doing. Today, Friday, first Friday of every month, we get the BLS report. This stands for the Bureau of Labor Statistics. We know this report has been all over the place. We expected 170,000 new jobs to be created. We got 143,000. We also saw the unemployment rate move from 4.1 down to 4.0. So a little bit of move there. The markets are kind of conflicted. If you look at the report, it's a little bit all over the place. But right now, it seems like it's just relatively flat as far as the employment report is concerned. I'm around all weekend. If you have any questions, let me know. Realtors, we are doing Winning the Listing presentation. We've done Boulder, we've done Denver, we've done Fort Collins. We have next week, which is going to be in Colorado Springs. That's actually almost sold out. There's only a couple seats there. And then we're going to go through and cycle a couple cities again. We have tremendous feedback on this luncheon that we're doing. It's all about your presentation, compensation on the buyer side, compensation on the listing side. So please RSVP. We would love to have you there. Also, I'm available 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you have any questions, reach out to me anytime. Happy Friday. Have a great day.